give a damn who I offend, but this next story is directly impacts some of the stupidest sons of bitches on this planet, and I've referred to them throughout this show and throughout this last election cycle and administration. These Cubans in Miami got to be some of the stupidest sons of bitches on the planet, and I stand by it. And when I fly down to Miami International Airport, I'm ready to fight any one of y'all non-speaking English asses about my comments, because y'all will vote for Donald Trump, and now y'all down there begging for SNAP benefits because your ass won't be able to eat come November 1st. Take a listen to this.
At Little Havana's Domino Park, fear among those we spoke with about the possibility that in just days, those who benefit from SNAP, a federal assistance program, might not get the benefits in November because of the government shutdown. Enrique Gonzalez, who's 79 years old, says he benefits from SNAP. $128 a month helps him a lot. He'll be greatly affected, he says, asking the president for help, reminding us Mr. Trump likely won the presidency because of Cubans here in South Florida.
The senior citizens are almost going to starve.
Almost 3 million Floridians could suddenly be without vital food assistance. This number includes over 1 million children, over 700,000 seniors, and over 250,000 Floridians with disabilities.
So look, I'm going to take it a step backwards. And I'm going to be nice here and watch me make this argument without making race a factor. Imagine a world where your financial situation is so delicate that $138 in food stamps is the difference between you being able to eat and not eat. Just imagine that. Imagine a world where your financial situation is so delicate that $138 is the difference between you being able to eat for the month and not eat for the month. And then you vote and subscribe to an ideology that's in line with Trump and them Republicans and all them rich folks. I'm not even going to let the nuance of race enter the conversation. Now, before we even get on race, before we make it about race, you cannot tell me that up front that there was enough information laid out up front about what it was going to look like and what those Republicans felt about people on entitlement programs. All that information was laid out the last presidency. It was laid out in the rhetoric that they spoke. It was laid out in Project 2025. All of it was laid out. Imagine being $138 away from being able to eat, but somehow siding with the rich billionaires. Imagine. And then got the nerve to sit up and say he likely won because of Cubans here in Miami. Yeah, you think? You think? And what did you get for your vote? What did you get for it? And again, the sad part about the situation is, given the opportunity to vote that way again, I still am not convinced that they would have voted any other way. And again, the midterm elections will be the determining factor. I can assure you that if given the opportunity to vote again right now, they asses would vote the same doggone way. Which brings me to the next.
The leopards continue to eat faces. Watch this video and I'll be right back.
So this Cuban man from where else but Florida just got deported, and not back to Cuba, but to a country in Africa. And by now I'm sure you can guess who he supported. Watch.
The man who immigrated to the U.S. from Cuba when he was 9 is on a hunger strike while in Africa, hoping to get the attention of the man he once supported.
He was very pro-Trump, super Trump supporter. How we go from one moment of me hugging my dad and being with him all the time and just being his little girl, and into he's just on a different country and just in prison. For what? He did his time years ago. Why is he in prison?
The 58-year-old is one of at least 5 men sent to a maximum security prison in the Kingdom of Eswatini over the summer, a small country in Africa criticized for alleged human rights abuses.
I don't even know what to say to people like him anymore, because you're a super Trump supporter who thought he was going to get a pass with this rap sheet, and now you're on a hunger strike. Hermano, he sent you to Eswatini. He does not give a shit about you.
Cue the music. Yeah. What's the crown? You've been great. What's it about? I will vote to be deported. Oh my God, I Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote to be deported. Oh my God, that sucks. You didn't even get deported to your country of origin. They sent you all the way to Africa. Oh, Jesus. When you get on your knees for white supremacy, the leopards will always eat your face, you see. So maybe next time you'll join the black community in the fight, because ultimately, collectively, we have always been right. There you go. Just made that up. Oh my God.
Here we have a clear example of why one should never spit upwards, much less forget who they are and where they come from. Just look, this is how Skinny Will jumped, celebrated and enjoyed when Donald Trump won the elections last year. He seemed to be the happiest man in the world with a big smile on his face here. A few months later, this same Skinny Will now finds himself detained by ICE, waiting to be deported. And the smile he once had has turned into desperate crying, pleading not to be deported from this country. And although I am not happy about what is happening to him, at the same time, it is a clear example of why one should never believe they are something they are not. Because this guy, who crossed through the Darien and entered the United States illegally, thought he was more American than the Americans, and just look where he ended up. But well, I hope this serves as a lesson to many people.
Y'all, it is a trip. As someone born and raised in Miami, Florida, Honduran American, my family came to Miami from Honduras in the 1980s, in case anybody wants to say I'm not from here, to see all of these Miami MAGA Latinos, Cubans for Trump, Venezuelans for Trump, Nicaraguans for Trump, all now come out and say, it's so terrible what they're doing to people in our community, snatching people up in immigration court to deport them, to do all these horrible things. This isn't us. We need to be standing together. Y'all voted for this. You guys wanted this. Do I need to remind you that Donald Trump won Miami-Dade County with 55.4% of the vote? Here in Miami, the only reason anyone cares now and that people are calling for solidarity and for all of this to end, even though they voted for Donald Trump, is because it's now affecting Cubans and Venezuelans. It's as simple as that. If Trump's policies with immigration right now were not affecting Cubans and Venezuelans, there would be no uproar in the city. Nobody would care. Because as long as Central Americans like my people, Mexicans, Haitians, other people from the Caribbean, from all over the world, we're getting deported? Oh, that's fine, yeah. Get those illegals out. MAGA, 2024, Cubans for Trump, Venezuelans for Trump. But now that it's affecting them, that Trump went to the Supreme Court to take away humanitarian parole from Cubans, that he did the same to take away TPS from Venezuelans, oh, now they care. Now there's calls for solidarity. We need to support each other, blah, 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 blah. Now is when we're seeing people like State Senator Ileana Garcia, a Republican here in Florida, who was also the co-founder of Latinas for Trump, come out and say, oh, this is sick, this is inhumane. Donald Trump, I've always supported you through thick and thin, but this is terrible. How can you be scooping people up in immigration court that are there for their asylum dates, for their court cases, for their immigration hearings, blah, blah, blah. Now it's inhumane. Now it's sick. Now these people care. And a lot of people outside Miami always ask themselves, why are these Hispanic communities in particular like that? Very simple. It's called favorable immigration policies that make them feel like they're not Hispanic, they're white, they're American. Starting with Cubans, the Cuban Adjustment Act, given to them by a Democrat president, wet foot, dry foot, the same thing, humanitarian parole, Biden as well, all these things. Venezuelans the same. TPS, humanitarian parole, given to them by Biden. So because they've historically had these fast tracks to obtain legal status in this country, they think they're better than, especially better than other Latinos, Central Americans, Mexicans, people from the Caribbean, from Asia, from all over. And unfortunately, this is what I call karma. This is karma for making the decision to fervently support a racist white supremacist for president. These are the consequences. Don't be, oh, lamentándote ahora. No, it's too late for that now.
Pay close attention, my people, because today, from the White House, President Donald Trump confirmed that very, very soon, the United States will begin to invade Venezuela. Yes, my people, as you hear it. And it's because, according to the president, he assured that at any moment we will see operations, we will see military actions on Venezuelan soil, Venezuelan territory. Well, although it is not yet clear what type of action this will be, whether they will send soldiers there, if it will be with drones, which points they will attack, which cities, how all this will be. What is known is that it would be something unprecedented. So we will be very attentive to what might happen, and in the meantime, I only ask God to bless and protect us from everything that is coming. But well, my people, in the meantime, let me know what you think. Take care and blessings.
It is expected that at any moment the convicted criminal will invade Venezuela. As a Venezuelan, I have many mixed feelings under this situation. Of course, I want Maduro to leave, and I love the idea of Maduro leaving. But the problem is at what cost? Because this man, the convicted criminal, doesn't do things out of kindness. He does it because he has some kind of interest. We have already seen Maria Corina talking about how she is basically going to hand over all of Venezuela's resources to the United States for them to exploit. How much will the Venezuelan people get from that? We'll see.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations. That's because thousands of those Cubans filed for political asylum and were granted political asylum, except they went back and visited their homeland of Cuba. Well, the big deal is that when you file for political asylum, you're declaring that your life is in danger in your home country. And by these Cubans going back to Cuba to visit, that means that the entire process of the political asylum was fraud. The application asked for political asylum seekers to give detail of why they can't go back to their country, why their lives are in danger in their homeland. And Cubans gave those statements that their life was in danger if they ever went back to Cuba. So going back to visit Cuba after you've been granted political asylum indicates that these Cubans have been granted political asylum based on false information. Now, it's no secret, Cubans played a huge role on the re-election of Donald Trump. And a lot of them feel let down by this administration because now they're being sent back home. So I'm going to ask all the Latino community, and I will do the same, to please hold a moment of silence for the thousands of Cubans who now are going to be forced to go back to the island. So anyway,
you literally can join ICE and be God's appointed avenger, right? Who seeks to carry out God's vengeance on the evildoer. Immigration is evil. So to join the proper mechanism through ICE and to become in that sense, God's appointed deacon to carry out vengeance on the evildoer who is devouring the inheritance of the children, that is a righteous thing. You can join ICE today and make Jesus smile as you, with a gun, pack foreigners into the back of a van to be kicked out of the country.
Y'all would have already deported him. You're not avenging your God. You're like spitting in his face.
Una vez más, el gobierno